something to bear in mind, I believe for the last 8 weeks, Clem has not been participating. I could be mistaken, but I think for either all 8 weeks or for the majority of those 8 weeks, Clem has not been participating in ESL Americas. He's been acclimating ever since DreamHack Dallas, which means now there's another big fish in the pond for Max Packs to contend with. But let's not get ahead of ourselves, because spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Post Youth, we have our Swedish Zerg player. The Red Zerg representing Root Gaming. It is SortOf. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the American Protoss player. The Blue Protoss representing his new team, Virtus Pro. It is Astrea. Let us go. Again, Astrea, he is in form, especially post DreamHack Dallas, especially post SC2 Safe House. Astrea, he's a very unpredictable player, and if there were a wild card to throw into the bracket, to throw into the mix, it would be Astrea. We have seen Astrea defeat Clem, we've seen him defeat Max Packs. He doesn't do it regularly on a weekly basis, but he has done it before. He could do it again. Likewise, SortOf also has been on that grind set. He's been streaming so much, laddering so much, whether it was back in Korea, whether it was now in Sweden. SortOf has been a much more active player than he was in years past. So I want to believe. For now, we're selling it. We are selling in. It's going to be a Hatch Gas full standard opener here out of SortOf. Interesting base location, because he has taken the northern hatchery, the standard hatchery. It looks like his third is going to be the gold. Like, this in-base pocket base is so valuable and so tempting. The only reason you would avoid this base is if you wanted the gold in a more secure fashion. So I imagine SortOf will be expanding further out in towards the map. Meanwhile, Astrea going for a 2-gate opener. Very uncommon here. Okay, aggression is on the horizon. With a 2-gate opener, we can go for a Cybercore, we can go for initially 2 and then 4 depths very quickly. It is a much more aggressive way to open up here in PvZ. And we rarely get to see it, but it's Astrea. I mentioned before, Astrea, he's very unorthodox, he's very aggressive, he does his own builds, or he comes up with his own builds, or experiments quite often, and likes to spice things up from time to time. He's the embodiment of NA. The gateways are done. We're waiting for the Cybercore to finish. Now, the Overlord Scout does confirm the 2-gate opener, so SortOf, he is now aware that he has to invest into additional links. Not yet, but soon will. To be able to keep up with, yep, these adepts. Double chrono boost on both gateways. Adepts are on the way. There's that gold base being taken. As we mentioned, if you don't take this pocket base, it's got to be for the gold. At the same time, Astrea setting up a proxy pylon. It gets scattered. Very nice moves here out of SortOf. He was following that probe. He did take note of it, and he shuts down the pylon immediately. That will slow down the follow-up that Astrea was planning. Adepts moving out. We can see 6 more links in production. And again, you do need to respect these 2 adepts. Adepts do one-shot drones, or 2 adepts one-shot drones. So we have to keep up. They can wreak havoc as they make their way in between the bases towards the natural. Lings are in position. So far, good zoning up. Adepts, they try to make their way through, and they do get 1 drone. They get 1, they don't quite get more. Meanwhile, this is wild. Astrea takes the gold out of the open as well. We just ignore this triangular third base. It's just going to be a standard 2-base opener into a third, out of the open, into the gold. Bold move out of Astrea. I'm ready for it. Now, Astrea can get away with this with map control. Because of all these adepts, we do have control of the map. We do force SortOf to stay back at home as we deny mining at the gold base and slowly get up our own. Looking at the vision of SortOf, he has not scouted this. He may have spotted the probe, but hasn't put 2 and 2 together, not yet. Roach 1 has been thrown down at the 4-minute mark. Very early Roach 1 here from SortOf, but it is a Twilight Council opener. Now, because of this early Roach Warren, if this is Glaive Adepts, for example, if this is Charge, if this is Aggression, we will have early Roaches to defend. So solid timing here from SortOf, and can turn this defense into an offense. But that's a lot of Adepts. We're now built up towards 7 Adepts. Pushing on 40, focus down the drones. We threaten to shade towards that natural. Lings are trying to keep up, but against so many Adepts, Lings can only do so much. We need those Roaches. Meanwhile, Astrea taking up towards Blink and a Dark Shrine. Oh my god. I was not expecting the DTs with the Gateway Explosion, but okay. Again, Astrea just mixing things up here. taking up every which way. Lings likewise are coming from behind. A good position here from Astrea. Does reach the surface area, but Lings are going across the map. We shade back home just in time. Astrea, he did shade back just in time. We have the shield battery, we have the overcharge. We defend the gold. Sort of rotating over towards the natural. Stalkers have warped in. Looks like the Stalker is going to be going down. Do we wall off in time? Up, we don't! A late wall off there out of Astrea. Lings do bust in. The wall has been broken. We get into the mineral line. It forces a big reaction out of Astrea. At the same time, Roaches, they do hit the gold. And Astrea, he's distracted. He's dragging everything over towards the main base. Probes are going down. And we get a full scout. Because the Lings got in, we get a full scout. We get eyes on the Dark Shrine. The spores are on the way. A big moment here for SortOf. Again, breaking into the main base. That could have just been it. We get 8 probe kills, a full scout. We distract the army. We delay the push. And now we're ready for DTs. So a good moment here. A solid moment for SortOf. But Astrea is still building up. Blink is about to finish in a couple of seconds. And we're still pushing. And we still have so much potential. Looking at the army sizes, we got 12 Stalkers and 8 Roaches. Overlord goes down. Not many Lings. Remember, we spent a lot of Lings harassing across the map. Clutch transfuse. Whew. Very clutch transfuse out of SortOf, keeping those Roaches alive. Stalkers holding their own, going for the Roaches themselves. Once again, transfuse. We don't lose a single Roach, though. We go one Roach finally goes down. Astrea is reinforcing because of the goal base. We do have a reinforcement point very, very far out. SortOf is barely holding on. Robo behind this for immortal production. Forge on the way. No DTs yet. As we got scattered. So Astrea doesn't waste any resources. Knows that it's probably not going to get much done. So far the blinks are good. Trading against the Lings. Not losing much of anything. Looking at the source type. Only 2 Stalkers have gone down. Very nice control out of Astrea. Additional shield batteries on the way. Astrea, he's ready to fall back. If need be, he's ready to just lose his ground or lose ground in the center and pull back to the shield batteries. But that's also the power of this goal base. It's so far forward. Basically halfway across the map. Well, Roaches are finally going down at the same time. Massive Link counterattack, but we have a shield battery, we have an overcharge. GG gets called. Astrea, he breaks through. And Astrea takes game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. A very, very chaotic game. Very chaotic game out of Astrea. And does bring it sort of down in game 1, but now we're getting ready for game number 2. We are getting ready for that second game. And yeah, again, Astrea, he just had a very unique approach here to post-youth. It's going for a 2-gate opener. His proxy was denied, but he just rushed into the gold, was able to maintain map control for a while. There was some good moments for SortOf when he was able to get that probe damage and get full scouting information. And he was, he also had some clutch transfuses, but unfortunately when it came to the follow-up push, he just was not ready for it. He had gone for a Ling counterattack. If those Lings that were counterattacking across the map, if they were back at home, we could sustain ourselves, we could keep going, we could keep up with the push of Astrea. Alas, things escalated very quickly, and Astrea takes a lead. Astrea does take a lead. Oh, shout out to SortOf. It looks like he's streaming his POV. Big shout out to SortOf. I know it's quite late in Europe at the moment. It's like midnight, I want to say. It's like encroaching on midnight in Europe. Depending on where you are. And here we go, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Oceanborn. We have our Swedish Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing Root Gaming down in this series. But look at it bounce back. It is SortOf. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the American Protoss player, the Blue Protoss representing Virtus Pro. Leading the series 1-0, 1 game away from making it into the next round. It is Astrea. Here we go. Astrea does have a lead. Was not the most standard of games. We do see SortOf forces take the unnatural natural over towards the left-hand side. But outside of that, sort of just going for a standard opener. There's no early gas, there's no early pool. Not yet. Nothing crazy to really point out. And I guess my eyes need to be on Astrea. Here on Oceanborn, it's a bit of a more standard map. I say a bit. Shorter rush distance by ground, you can be hyper aggressive. Not shorter than Post Youth by any means, but the third base is vulnerable and exposed, and that does lead to aggression. Gateway is going to be on the way. We saw last game that Astrea did open up 2 gates. This time does not look to be the case, as we see a hatch gas pool from SortOf, standard opener. Sort of playing things out as he should. Again, we'll keep an eye on Astrea. Not the most orthodox of players. We saw that in the last game. But what I was getting at when referring to the maps is that Astrea, he's not tempted by the gold. There's no gold base here on Oceanborn. No temptations to rush into a forward base. As once again, 2-gate opener. Second gateway has been thrown down. So similar setup, similar dynamic to game 1, where because of the 2-gate opener, because of the cyber core that's now thrown down, we do have a bit of a power spike with our first 2 and then the 3rd and 4th adept as well. So we're getting into adept aggression very early on. The Overlord does confirm, so SortOf is fully aware of the 2-gate opener, and just like the last game, SortOf should be investing into additional lings here and being hyper fixated on keeping up with the adept aggression. Otherwise, this can get out of hand. Sorry, he's just sneezing. my apology, just sneezing. Okay, here we go. As we are settling in, there we go. We're going to be chronoing out those first 2 adepts once again, moving out across the map. Back at home, SortOf spreading creep, connecting his bases. Moving out with our queens. This time it's going to be a Stargate opener, not a Twilight Counselor. Okay, I see you. I see you. This should be for Oracles, but it's Astrea. We could be seeing a Void Ray or even a Phoenix. We'll keep an eye on that Stargate production. As there we go, 6 more lings on the way. It's going to be 8 in total. Adept's going to be shading in. So far, queens are able to keep up. Adept's rotating around. Headed for the main. And we commit. We commit into the main base. Good positioning here from Astrea. 1, 2 drones, 3 drones going down. Ay. Alongside all these lings. Nice control. We pull back the weakened adept. SortOf will focus one of them down, but it looks like we get another drone. 4 drones and so many lings. Almost 5. But 4 drones, 4 lings for 2 adepts. That's a worthwhile trade. That is a solid trade there for Astrea. And behind this, here come the Oracles. Now, because we just lost our adepts, I'm loving this ling counterattack. The problem is that Astrea, he's ready for this. He already has one Stalker here at the natural and 1 adept at the 3rd base. As long as no one gets surrounded, we should be able to hold our own. Nice hold position micro on the probe. And for the probe will fall. Oracle force activates Pulsar Beam. And we defend. So nice counterattack here from SortOf. He didn't break through, but he got a probe kill and he did waste energy on the Oracle. Pretty good damage. And back at home, we are re-droning, resaturating our bases. Queens are amassing as well. We have 2 queens in the main. We have 2 queens here at the 3rd base. But 4 adepts are moving out. And can we keep up? Have we remade the lings? We have. There's still 7 lings. They're across the map. Hitting the 3rd, which means they're not at home to defend. Adepts, they're shading in. And drones are going to be focused down. So many workers. We get 2 more drones. SortOf does pull away. Does pull away in time. Lings likewise coming in for the surround. With 4 drone kills. Shading on out. Oracles are here to support. Once again, not a bad trade for Astrea. And we're following this up with a Forge and a Twilight Council. Should be +1 and Blink. +1 and Blink. Astrea pulls back. 4th base on the way. SortOf down in workers, but he's trying to resaturate, trying to redrone. Attempting to recoup those losses. Likewise, Lair is on the way. I don't see a Roach Warren, so it looks like SortOf wants to go into Ling Hydra. We didn't quite get to this stage. Last game, it was hyper aggression out of Astrea. This time, SortOf has some breathing room with +1 melee on the way. I'm feeling a Hydra Den on the horizon. Yeah, additional gases are being taken. I mean, I say Hydra Den. Technically, we could throw down a Spire. Spire is also an option, but Hydras would make a lot of sense, especially against Blink Stalkers. Throw down a safety bathing nest. Moving out. Astrea just being active, just denying creep tumors. Maintaining map control. There's that Hydra that we spoke of. So Ling Hydra out of SortOf, or Ling Bane Hydra. But it's still redroning. Like, Astrea did have the economic advantage for quite some time. Shedding into the natural. Getting 2 more drones. 10 worker kills so far for 6 adepts. And now we're moving out. Now we're looking to hit the timing of our upgrades. +1 and Blink, they're going to finish up in a couple of seconds. So now is the time to push. Pylon being set up. Gateways have not been, gases have not been taken. How many gateways are we on? 8! 3-way soul in. We have a 3-way soul in set up here from Astrea. 8 gates. Proxy 9th gate across the map. Ay, ay, ay. So just, we can warp in 8 stalkers at a time. Soon to be 9 stalkers at a time, and we're just doubling down. Astrea coming in for the kill and can SortOf survive. Hydras are on the way, Lings are bleeding out. The goal here to shave off all these Lings and then to get up to the juicy center of this army. The Queens and the Hydras, they're so fragile. Big Baleen counterattack. Balings are rolling in, but Astrea's in position. Balings, they do get into the middle line. 8 workers go down, 11 probes go down. Very nice counterattack, but what about the main army? The supply in favor of Astrea. That's what I'm worried about. Zealots have morphed in. These are slow lots, but these Zealots, their goal here is just a buffer. Just a buffer for the Stalkers. That's all they need to do. And they're doing their job. Yeah, Lings are going down. Hydras are getting exposed. And the concave is insane. Here come reinforcements. We're breaking on through. GG gets called, and Astrea takes the series 2-0, advancing on to the next round. GG. Oh my god. Not what I meant to click on. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Astrea as he does take the series. Again, the reason why this 3-base all-in hit so hard is because he had dealt so much economic damage in the lead-up. So SortOf was spending quite a bit of lava to recoup those losses. Likewise, SortOf also skipping the Roach Warren, going straight into Ling Hydra does require you to be in a much more solid position to survive pushes like this. And yeah, Astrea, he just hit a brutal timing there, went for the kill. GG, well played. Congratulations, Astrea does take it, but a shout out to SortOf because he was able to hold his own and did make for a fun series. So GG, well played. Also a shout out to SortOf, he was streaming his POV. Likewise, SortOf, I'm sure, is playing deep late into the night. What time is it in Sweden time? Is it midnight? Oh, I say midnight. 2 a.m. Oh my god, far past midnight. 2 a.m. in the morning. Get some rest, Papi. Get some rest. GG, well played. Again, I always do appreciate and I always champion the European players that compete in these events, as it is not at an easy time. It's not at the best time. So yeah, shout out to SortOf. Congratulations to Astrea. And with that, Astrea advances on into the next round, and we have some catching up to do. Let's head on over to the bracket. !B. !B in the chat.